Actually, when school ended and got into the real world, I just thought maybe I should give that talking stuff a try. It has made my life so much better. I love everything about it, the traveling, the jokes, the after show hangs. Lots of laughs, good atmosphere, just a fun show, a banger to close off on. You know, it's the last time I'm doing this hour of jokes, so.
Ladies and gentlemen of Vienna, please welcome Mr. Tamas.
Hello, everybody. My God, look at you. This looks magnificent. Hello, hello. How you doing tonight? Yes, that's what we want. That's amazing. It's so glad to see you in such amazing numbers during COVID. Nobody gives a fuck. I'm guessing everyone's under 60. At this point, the entire country is just fuck it, let it run through. I don't care. Whatever gets me back to the club faster so I can look at my phone, I'm just gonna go with it. Ah man, it's amazing to be here. This is the final recording of my first ever solo show that I've written. It's wonderful, it's an honor to see all of you, it really is. I'm Tamas, by the way, hi, I'm Tamas Vamos, I'm half Hungarian, I'm half South African. Usually, you know, living in Western Europe, being Hungarian is something that I used to be ashamed of. But now, I just don't tell people. It's easier, you know, it's better. Because I have to say, like, you know, being like from Hungary in the European Union on the Western side is a lot like being from the United States anywhere in the world. You know what I mean? Like us Hungarians, and I know there's a couple Hungarians here, right? How many? Couple, okay, 2, 3, okay, see, like, imagine like we live in Western Europe now, so when you tell someone you're Hungarian, what are the reactions? They're like, where are you from? Hungary. Ooh, your president is like, very much like the USA, no? I was like, Hungary? Oh, your president. I was like, I know, it's our president. We're more aware of it than you are. It's a thing we do. And also the other reaction we get, like, first one was like, ooh, and the second was, Hungary? Are you hungry? Don't do that, okay? First of all, I understand you're being funny and you're trying to be creative, make a little small talk, all that. Just understand everybody did it before you, okay? Everybody. And Hungary's economy, if you know, is fucked up, so there's a good chance we are hungry. And at that point, it's just a fight waiting to happen. You're like, are you hungry? I might be. And then we get all the Eastern European stereotypes, like, oh, you guys are so aggressive. And it's like, yeah, but then if we say it's your fault, then it's kind of our fault. And, you know, it's a whole thing. You know, also Hungarians are the only people on the planet who are not happy to run into each other in foreign countries. You know that? Also, who said also Romania? Do we have any more Romanians in? Romanians make some noise? Okay, that's little enough, so. I want to say it's the same thing, but I have to check for Romanians first, because I also want to know how after the show will go. But like this, you know, it's like 2 people. I can totally outrun those. That's fine. Not too much of an issue. But this is the thing, right? Like, imagine 2 Australian people who don't know each other, and they just hear each other's accents from across the room, wherever. What do? They go, "Oi, Australia! Oi, Australia!" And then they go and get drunk, right? Or if it's Spanish people, they do the same. It's like, "Hey, Espana, hey, Espana." They want to say "sp," but they can't say the "sp," so they have to go "Espain," like they were saying "ass pain." Might be a pain in the ass to meet other Spanish people. Maybe it's just the tapas, I don't know, but. You know, when it's Hungarians, they usually get, "Hey, Hungarians!" Fuck. Don't move. They can't see you if you don't move. You stay motionless and they'll go away, hopefully. You know, it's very different. Like, but that's how we connect. As rough as it sounds, that's how we connect. Like, A couple of months ago, I was traveling to Budapest from the bus station here in Vienna, and I noticed the guy checking the passports was Hungarian. So I was having a good day. I wanted to greet him. That was like probably my first mistake. But I didn't want to say too much. I just wanted to say something like "good day." In Hungarian, it's "jó napot." Yeah. So it was my turn, and he just said "passport, please," and I was like, "Here you go," and also "jó napot." And without being phased whatsoever, he just went, "I will need your passport in every language. Okay, now move along, move along." One of the best guys I've ever met. It's really like one of my highlights of meeting Hungarians. It's fantastic. That's how we connect, you know? It just makes sense to us. It makes it somehow better. Also, we're here in Hungary, in Austria now. It's so much better. It's like so much better. I love it so much more. I'm sorry. But, you know, like, it just, in Austria, like, everything works, everything's fine, and everything's perfect. You hear that silence? That was to draw the Austrians out from the crowd. And I was like, "No, it totally doesn't work, no." I was like, "Yeah, it does. Come on, it totally does. As long as I can freak Austrians out by saying Guten Morgen at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it works." Okay? That's how I test it. You know, I just walking down the street like, "Morgen!" Trottel. They just go away. You know, it's so easy. It's fantastic. I love it here. I absolutely love it here. Also, there's like everywhere. You can go everywhere, and it's going to be super safe. Right? Like everywhere is perfectly safe. Austrians? No? Nobody? Nobody's going to go Roymannplatz? Nobody? No, because, you know, it's so like, I used to live at Roymannplatz, and before that I used to live in Budapest and Johannesburg. So when Austrians tell me Roymannplatz is dangerous, I'm like, sure it is. That's cute. You know what's the worst thing that ever happened to me at Roymannplatz is? Some dude asked for a cigarette without saying bitte. It was like the worst, the low points. It was the ultimate. And he just walked up to me and was like, "Chick." And I said, "Nein." And he said, "Entschuldigung für die Störung, bitte." Austrian vandalism, man. I was like really pissed off. I even called the police afterwards. Like, "What the fuck?" It's fantastic, you know, like, and at this point to me, Austria is so safe that it's dangerous. Does that make sense? Because when I go back to Hungary and I am getting robbed, I just don't notice anymore. Because it's not a concept that's in my head. Like, I'll give you an example. I was walking home a couple of months ago, like, from Hungary. I had a night out with my friends. I was going home through the park. It was dark. I was listening to music. I was alone. I see two guys standing like 100 meters away. Then I don't care. I'm walking. Keep in mind, it's completely dark. I'm alone in a park, middle of the night. So one of these guys suddenly starts running at me at full speed. Nothing. To me, maybe he just needs a cigarette really urgently. Could be anything, you know, it really could be. Then he stops in front of me and he's raising his fist to punch. Still nothing. I was like, yeah, maybe he's just checking his watch in a really weird way, you know, like he ran up on me and he was like, "Did you know it's past midnight?" Or something like, you know, something very classy. But no, at this point, keep in mind, like, before he punched, he like stopped for a second and looked at me. And he just went like, "What are you doing?" Now, to me, I genuinely think he only stopped his punch halfway because I gave him the impression that I'm like this really amazing street fighter. You know? Because I was listening to music, he ran up on me ready to punch, and I was just standing there like, Yes, what can I do for you? Yeah. And you know, as he was looking like, "What are you doing," by the way, is like a typical Hungarian thug thing to ask. Like, what are you doing? Like, before you get robbed in Hungary, they'll always ask you a question. Because it's unpolite to rob someone without some casual small talk in between. I don't know, but they'll always ask you a question that you cannot answer, right? Like, once I just looked at a group of guys, they looked back at me like, "What are you looking at?" And it was a group of guys, so I was terrified. I was like, nothing, sorry. It was like, what are you not looking at? I'm like, what am I not looking at? I don't know, man, that's kind of deep. I wasn't expecting this kind of conversation. Are you a philosopher? Is that why you're doing this? Because then, dude, take it. Like, you need it more than I do. But is that what... And you know, then, after all this time, like, it clicked to me like, oh, fuck, that's what you're doing. Oh, Jesus, okay, goddamn. So I thought, this guy still thinks that I'm like the Street Fighter dude, yes? I'm going to use that leverage. So as he had his fist in the air going, what are you doing? I just went, yo, I am running. Thank you. Yeah. And I took off as fast as I could. Now keep in mind, after like 50 meters, I look back, I see this guy at the same spot laughing his ass off. You know, like, you know when you can tell from body language, like dude is like standing there holding both of his knees, like is just like fucking shaking like this. I was so proud of myself. I was like, yes, this is how powerful comedy can be, right? Like without any fight, any argument. We technically both had a laugh. Nobody got robbed, so I stop, I look back at him, I smile, and he fucking starts running at me again. And so I have a new phone. No, I don't, but seriously, like, this might be Stockholm Syndrome, but once the trauma is over, I have to, like, really respect these guys at some level. You guys know what I mean? You don't know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, you, sir, in the white t-shirt, can you ever see yourself robbing someone on the street with a knife, daytime or nighttime? Like, no. No? God, I'm so glad you said no. I asked someone in Poland once, and he just said, I don't need knife, I have my hands. It's not someone I can work with, you know? But no, see, like that would also be my answer. Like, I don't ever see myself fucking doing that on the street. I'd be way too nervous. You know, like if I had to rob someone with a knife, I'd be running up to them, I'd be messing up my lines. I'd just be going to, give me all your money or your wife. Life. Shit. Give me a second. Give me all your wife. Money. God damn it. Okay, listen, just carry on and don't tell anyone this happened. Have a nice gay day. For fuck's sake, man. Keep my phone, okay? You keep my phone. I don't care. It's very different, right? Like, once I even had this argument with a friend of mine. She's from Brazil, and she asked me why I don't like Hungary that much, what my problems are, and I just thought, you know, I told her this story, and I said, you know, like in Hungary, when you go out, a lot of times, or often, there's a chance that you get robbed, and they steal your phone, and they steal your wallet, and it's a bad experience to have, and it just kind of messes up your evening, and she was unfazed once again, just looked and said, yeah, I got kidnapped by 2 guys with machine guns in Sao Paulo. So I was just like, oh, but did they steal your phone though? That was kind of my point. I don't know. Clearly you live to tell the story. I don't know. No, it's very different there. I moved here like 7.5 years ago, a little under 7.5 years ago. I love it ever since. Like when I moved here, I got a really good job at a hotel. I was the executive of clean plate distribution. I was the dishwashing boy, if you want to be a dick about it, but that was fun, you know, that was a cool job because my mom was my boss. Actually, that's not what made the job cool, that's what got me fired. But it's still a fact that my mom was my boss. You know, it was weird because I was the dishwasher, she was like a top-ranking manager at the same hotel. So she didn't have to come on time, but I did. So she would drive me to work, but she would drive me to work late. And then in an attempt to feel professional, she would give me shit in the kitchen in front of the other employees. Like would drop me off in front of the hotel, I run down, change clothes, appear 15 minutes late to my shift. My mom appears 20 minutes later, just like, Mr. Vamos, I heard you were late. I'm like, oh, did you now? How did you find out? I thought you didn't notice me in the car 25 minutes ago. You. Then eventually that led to me getting fired. Then I got another job after that, which was a little better. I was at a reception, right? I get to talk to guests more, it's better, but I got fired from there too for an honest mistake. Bear with me, it was really an honest mistake. Now, what happened was my computer died as I was checking this dude in the hotel. And apparently what you have to do when your computer dies is call an IT company to come fix it, and not the Indian guests at the hotel. You know, because hey, listen, every time I called the IT company, an Indian dude picked up the phone. Company was outsourcing, I was insourcing. That's how I saw it in my head, okay? Like, that was my whole thing, but apparently it's not politically correct. But even though the guy I called from the hotel came down and fixed the problem. And while he was fixing the problem, I called the IT company and his fucking phone rang right next to me, okay? So there was no reason, there was absolutely no reason to get me fired for that shit, so. After that, I decided to study. That was a fun decision. I got into a course through IMS. It was great. I decided to become a office salesman. See how smooth it rolls off the tongue in English? Office salesman. In German, that's Bürokaufmann. Isn't that funny though? Like, German has this, like, when it's soft when it's not supposed to be soft, and then it's rough where it's not supposed to be rough. You know, like this kind of controversy in a way. Like, I love it, because, you know, in English we have the word fuck. That's a strong word. Fuck. I'm gonna fuck you up. I wanna fuck her. In German, that's fick. Isn't that cute? Like, imagine anybody threatening someone in front of a club with that. Like, man, if you talk to my girl again, I'm going to fick you up so hard. I'm gonna... Other guy just standing like, oh, what are you gonna do? Say it again. Come on, say it 3 times. That's so sweet. Come on. It's so fucking strange, man. It's also like, see, my course was through IMS, which was a lot of fun, because I didn't know that if you study through IMS, you immediately get put in a school where only like 45-year-old mothers go. Has anybody else studied through IMS? It's like, it's you in your 20s versus 11 40-plus mothers who have 8 kids and haven't left the apartment in 20 years. It's fantastic, you know, because first of all, why the fuck would you have 6 to 8 kids? No? No? Just me? Because I don't understand. Because you have one kid and you're happy with it and it's great. And then you decide this kid is so great, we're going to have another one. And now you're even happier because now you have another great kid and also a backup if the first one dies. So then you get a 3rd kid, now you have 2 backups. Then you get a 4th kid, 3 backups. How unlucky are you? You know, like, what are you planning for? At one point, I just wanted to go into class and accidentally drop a condom. You know, just to see if any one of those mothers go like, hey, what's that? I'm like, aha! I fucking knew it! Yes, this is gonna change your life. You don't have to have a kid every time you do that. It's mind-blowing. It's hilarious. And also, like, while I was doing this course, I found out that being a Bürokaufmann doesn't exactly turn you into a chick magnet. I wasn't expecting it, but I just know that there are certain jobs out there that turn you into one. Bürokaufmann is not one of them. Right? Because every time I tell people, they just get like really stereotypical with me. Like, hey, what are you studying? Office sales. Such a Jew. Where else is that fine, people? When you go to some dude, ask him like, hey, what are you studying? Pyrotechnics. Such a Muslim. That's not fine either, is it now? So then why don't we drop the double-edged sword and just let go both of them? Also, being in such a school, I found out that the Wie geht's question can get very, very dangerous if you're using it against a 50-year-old mother of 8 who hasn't left the apartment in 30 years. Because, you know, Austrians have a good way. They figured this out. Wie geht's? Müde. Du auch müde. Over. Right? That's the conversation, right? But with one of these, they're like, und wie geht's dir? Müde. Und dir? Well, I was born in 1965. And I was like, no, not that. Just tell me gut or müde. And then we can continue with our day. but don't give me the whole exposition. Like, everything is a story to them. It's insane. They said, once this one told me, I used to work at a travel agency for 5 years, and my chair was shit. So I was sitting on a shit chair for 5 years, and now my back hurts. So, as I'm listening, I'm just saying, like, hey, hate to break your flow and all that, but you may be thinking about changing the chair. This is not rocket science. Like, you don't have to accept everything like it's scripture. Like, I bought myself some shoes, but they were too small, so I cut off toes. And like, come on, improvise a little bit. Change the chair up, change your workflow, makes it better. That is just one of those Austrian things that, it's like that here and you'll never get used to it. Like the healthcare system, I managed to experience the healthcare system too. That was great, because a couple years ago, I broke my kneecap while I was fist fighting these 15 skinheads with pit bulls protecting my girlfriend with my bare hands. Or I tripped over a stone. Listen, I don't remember exactly what happened, but one of these stories I enjoy telling a lot more than the other one. I'm gonna level with you. I was going home after a show, I wasn't even drunk, I didn't see a stone, I tripped, and I couldn't get back up, so I called the ambulance. Now, the interesting bit is the ambulance hang up on me. In 5 minutes, the ambulance called me back. He starts bombarding me with questions, right? He just goes like, have you been shot? Have you been in a fight? Are you bleeding? Have you been in a knife fight? Are you hurt? Do you feel constant pain? I'm like, I wish I could tell you all of those things, man, but I just kind of tripped. So they hang up again. Now, within 10 minutes, an ambulance shows up, a second ambulance shows up, a police car shows up, a regional doctor shows up, and some dude who was just driving by stopped to help us. So all of a sudden, we're looking like fucking CSI Miami, because idiot here didn't see a stone, and see, now they're trying to get this dramatic story out of me. Tell us everything that happened in detail. So I'm just sitting there like, fuck, okay. As I was walking down the street in the darkness, I didn't expect anything. I just wanted to get home. They're like, I'm sorry, you're getting emotional, you need a blanket? I'm like, fuck yeah, I need a blanket. Give me a blanket, what else? Sandwich, I'll take everything, or whatever. What else you have? You have a schnapps, this will beer, whatever. So he's like, okay, and then what happened? Like, I was like, okay, well, you see, my house is just there. I just needed to turn this corner. But as I was turning this corner, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. Do you see that stone? And they're like, yes? Well, I didn't. Sorry. So they were a little disappointed, but I wasn't, because if you call the ambulance in Hungary, it's a different story. Even if you call it with like whatever little, like, oh my God, I fell under the train, I lost both of my legs, please can you come? And they're like, we can't park at the train station, so if you could make it across, that would be really nice, because we got fined the other day and we don't want that. So they drove me to hospital. I don't know how many of you experienced hospitals so far in Austria, but it's like a thing that if you get taken to hospital by an ambulance, they don't tell you anything. Right? Like, if you don't know, now you know. They won't tell you. Like, see, keep in mind, I tripped and I had a broken knee, so my knee hurt. I arrived at hospital, I'm like, oh my God, doc, it hurts so much. What's wrong? He's like, well, it could be anything. Anything. Anything? Is like, well, it could be anything. It's like, really, man? I tripped over and my knee hurts. Clearly, it can be anything. I'm like, yeah, well, we have to go look at the x-rays and check out the scans. And it's like, I understand, but you're not going to go look at the x-rays, come back and tell me like, well, turns out you have AIDS. That's why your knee hurts. I'm surprised myself, but that's the reason. So there's that, and then, they looked at the scans, whatever, and turns out I did have a broken kneecap. I had to stay at hospital for weeks. My left leg was in a cast, which was weird. And just for some side info, if you're a man in hospital for weeks, there's going to come a point in time where you're trying to hit on the nurses. It's not a joke, it's a biological fact, okay? And keep in mind, it's a very weird situation to be trying to flirt in, because keep in mind, my full left leg was in a cast, right? So my left leg was half the size of my right leg, and my right arm was like 4 times the size of my left arm for a different reason. And I'm trying to be funny, right? Because I've been in hospital for fucking weeks. So I knew it was the hot nurse working that day, so here was my plan. As she was coming in, I thought, I was like, okay, she's going to come in the room. Whatever she says to me, I'm going to throw it right back. I'm going to make it funny, clever, flirty, sexy. It's going to be the best pickup line she's ever heard. So I hear her voice from the corridor. I'm like, game on, let's go. Come on. She walks in the room. I'm game mode. She goes, Mr. Vamos, have you taken a shit yet today? You stand there like, no, but I would for you. We did not end up on a date. If anyone was wondering, that was not exactly what she wanted to hear. But you know, I still had a good time in hospital though, because I don't know anyone who's not from Austria, but in Austrian hospital, every time they feed you, they give you a menu. You get to choose your food in a hospital. It's awesome. You know how easy it is to get used to that shit? Like, on day number 2, I was like, oh, Mr. Vamos, would you like some lunch? I was like, what are my options? I was so fancy. If I would have done this in a Hungarian hospital, they go like, Mr. Vamos, would you like some lunch? I was like, what are my options? They're like, yes or no? Those are your options. Let me know if there's anything we can do. My shift ends in 8 minutes, so make it fast, yeah? But it's a lot of fun, man. Like, I have such a good time here, whatever happens. Like, I remember when I moved here, the first friends I made were Afghans and Italians. Now, keep in mind, Afghans, I say Afghans, because you don't get to have one Afghan friend. They're always in a group, so either you have Afghan friends or you don't have any. You know, my friends found out the hard way. They're like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? It's like, my Afghan friend is coming over. It's like, so, how many are you cooking for? Like, no, it's just the one guy. I'm like, no, it's just the one bus. Oh, friend, I'd go shopping if I were you. It's a lot of fun, you know, like my first Afghan group of friends lived outside of Vienna and they were renting a big ass house. And we had so much fun there because they had a garden, we could make a fire, grill stuff, drink beer, smoke weed, had the fun of our lives. Now, one day these guys told me, yo, Tamas, we can't meet in the afternoon anymore because it's Ramadan now. So we have to meet in the evening. So, you know, to me that's fine. But one day, a week later, so I disturbed them in the middle of Ramadan. I just called them and said, hey, sorry for disturbing. I just want to ask about tonight. I brought steaks, I got beers, I got whiskey, and I brought the weed. 9:30, 10 p.m. What time do you guys want me there? It's all about. So all I hear on the back of the phone is like, you bought the alcohol and the marijuana as well? I'm like, yeah, man, I have everything, like the whole list, and just tell me what time you want me there. So in the phone it goes like, okay, you can come now. I can, what the fuck? It's like, no, dude. Like, do your shit, and then when you're done, I'm going to come join. It's like, no, today we have break day. Today we have break day in Ramadan, huh? It's like, you know, like, it's like, hey, sorry, dude. Like, this is my last argument I'm gonna make, but I have Muslim colleagues at work, and I've been to work today, and they didn't mention anything about a break day. So at this point, he started getting pissed, you know, like, he was like, are they from Afghanistan? They're like, no, they're from Turkey. In Afghanistan, it's break day. Now get your ass over here. I was like, thank you. That's all I wanted. Like, the hard religious people, you know. Also, Italians are fantastic because, like, if you don't know, Italians are the only nationality where every stereotype you have ever heard anywhere in any setting, they're all true. All of them. Like, they're late, loud, and they're funny when they're pissed off. Except when they're pissed off at you, that can get a little out of hand. But that's like the 3 settings, you know? Like, once, my Italian friends were always late. So once I thought, oh, it's a picnic. So on purpose, I was 2.5 hours late. No phone call, no text message, nothing. I just arrived, and they're like, hey, so where are you guys? I'm at the subway station. He goes, we're in the park. I was like, yeah, man, we're meeting at Donau, so everything is kind of a park. So if you could narrow it down a little bit. He's like, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You met at this subway station. He's like, yes. And you went somewhere. Yes. Where did you go? I don't know. I was like, okay, can you try to explain it? He's like, okay, listen, if you come out of the subway station in the front, if you came from this direction, or the other side if you came from the other direction, but you have to cross the bridge, although you might not have to do that if you came from the other direction. Anyway, cross the bridge or don't. Turn left or right if you came from the other direction, or left. Actually, I'm not sure about that part. But you cross the bridge or you don't. You turn left or right, depending on direction. You go straight, but you also only go left if you came by tram. Oh yeah, you can come by tram, I forgot that. And if you came by taxi, you have to cross the bridge, but another bridge. And he was explaining, and at one point he's like, yeah, I'll try. So we didn't find each other. And I call him again and just like, yo, dude, why are you telling me shit? You're not even anywhere near here. He goes, hey, why are you blaming me? I told you I have no idea where the fuck we are. For listening to me. Only an Italian can pull that off. He's like, let me tell you where to go. You're not here. Well, it's your fault. I just thought we know where we are. I don't. It's very strange. Also, I helped this same guy move from one apartment to the other, which made me witness two Italian guys assembling IKEA furniture. It's better than porn, man. It was 25 minutes of this shit. Porco Dio, puta madre, cazzo, Dio, bestia, appoia, madonna, troia, donna. And at one point, one of them just was like, hey, you want to help? And I was just like, nah, man, I just want to watch. This is great. And also, I was kind of expecting it to happen, so I gave them the wrong manual. You know? Like, they were building a bed, they had the manual to a chair they never figured out. It's like, I don't know where the mattress is gonna go. I don't know. They're fantastic. And one time I did manage to get my Italian friend pissed by, we were going to Italy for 2 weeks. And before the trip, I got really drunk. And I thought, hey, I'm gonna drunk call him in the middle of the night, because that's always a great idea, right? So I drunk call him, and I go like, hey, Morena, we're going to Italy. Let's meet before I go to Italy. And he was just a little too calm at first. You know, that way he was like, hey, Tom, slow down. Tom, please. First of all, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, okay? You got that? Yeah, great, fantastic. Second of all, very important, I know you're going to Italy. We're going together. I invited you. The third thing is, I'm right across the fucking table, man. Could you please put the phone down? This is ridiculous. I don't know what the fuck you're up to. It was so much fun, man. Like, this is just the fact that I met most of these guys through just hanging out in bars and pubs is awesome to me. Because, see, in Budapest, when I go back, I don't really get to meet people in bars that often. Because every time we get in a conversation with random people, they always ask the same questions. Like, they would come to me and say, like, so, you live in Austria? And I'm like, wait, let me stop you right there. I know where this is going. I have your answers. Yes, I live in Vienna, Austria. Yes, I have Muslim friends. No, they haven't tried to blow me up yet. And now think about that for a second. Try to blow you up. Who tries? It's more like a do or don't, no? Like, nobody's kind of on the fence on this one. Like, imagine this scenario. On the weekend, when you're having some beers and shots with your Muslim extremist friends, one of them, like, as you look towards your bags and coats, you can see one of your Muslim friends approaching your bag with a smaller bag and just goes like, ah, you got me. Ah, I tried to blow you up, but you got me. Ah, very, very clever. Ah, God, what am I gonna do with the bomb now? Eh? I get you next weekend, I get you. Ah, always paying attention. Very smart, very smart. It's so fucking stupid, man. Also, to completely change the topic up on you, question. I'm going to ask you a question, and I need you to think about it while I explain the question, and then I need you to put your hands up to answer with yes. Is that fine? Yeah. Is that fine? Yeah. Cool. So the question is, who has dumb friends? Now, explanation. Everybody in every group of friends has one dumb one. Now, keep in mind, these are still your good friends. Your close friends, your very, very close friends. They're close to your heart. You can rely on them. They're a part of your life at all times. But deep down, you know, They're stupid. So who has a friend like this in their group? Hands up. Okay, that's like a strong 50%. Like I just say, those of you who didn't have your hands up, you're probably the friend in the group. I just like to say that, you know, because that's like, that is like, I don't know, I'm just with my friends all the time. It's funny, man, you know, that's what I think. I think in life to be happy, all you need is like a dumb friend, a creative friend, and you in the middle. Because see, the dumb friend does stupid shit, and it's funny. So you want to watch that, but your creative friend comes up with dumb shit as a joke, which your dumb friend then takes seriously. And it's like a never-ending cycle of entertainment, you know? Like, once I read this story about Steve Jobs, I presume everybody knows who Steve Jobs is, right? Yeah, about how he came up with the name Apple. Like, he just went, I don't know if this is true, he went to his marketing team at Apple and said, you guys have 24 hours to come up with a good company name. If you don't come up with anything I like, I'm going to name the company after my favorite fruit, which is the apple. Right? So I don't know if this is true, this is maybe a good conversation starter, but I read it on the internet, whatever. So I tell this to my dumb friend, he looks at me and goes, so what did they come up with? What do you think, man? Like, ask it slowly and see if your mind feels a bit weird as the words are leaving your mouth. You know? But it's super fun. I love my dumb friend. I love it even more when your smart friends do dumb shit. That has an extra level of entertainment to it, you know, because I have a friend who's a rabbi. Wisdom, religious reader, all that stuff. And there's a Jewish holiday in summer. Now, every summer, what this guy does is he organizes a trip for all his Orthodox Jewish community, and they go camping somewhere. And every year, it's in a different country in Europe, and it's great. See, so far, this is fine. But if you're advertising this on Facebook with the words, "My dear Jewish friends, once again, it is time to hop on the train to Poland." You know, I had to reload the fucking post like 4 times. I was like, did you really write this? And what interests me even more is like, are you getting a lot of sign-ups? Because that was not our best camping trip as a people. Like, we were getting not a lot of fun back on that one. I know the train rides were for free, but you know, it doesn't. So it was a lot of fun to me. I just loved reading that. Cheers, by the way, everybody. So living here, I noticed some things upon moving here, some things during the years. But I noticed, anyone else notice Austria has a really strange public signs game? No? Just me? Well, that's why I'm the one doing this job. None of you, right? So if it's just me, you know, like when I moved here, I went to a Burger King. I went to take a piss at the toilet. In the toilet, above the pissoirs, it said, "Feel the taste, Burger King." In the toilet. Right? For who? Like, who goes in like, oh, shit. I'm going to have a Whopper. That's a great idea. That sounds good. I think I'm going to. Or like the other one that I really enjoyed is that at subway stations, at the public toilets, they have little signs on the public toilet doors that's like a little needle and a red cross. No heroin. Because heroin junkies give a shit. Right? Like, imagine what a heroin junkie has to do to finally get some heroin. Just at the end go like, oh, finally. It's not allowed. Well, let me go somewhere else where this is tolerated. I don't. And the third sign I enjoy the most is actually more like a thing they put out in bars and pubs. It's like a little, just a fun sign. It says, Nazi-free zone. To who? Nazi-free zone. Like, does it happen on a regular basis that a group of bald men in black jackets just come into your bar? They're like, Heil Hit, guys! And the Nazis would be like, oh, we're very sorry. We were Naziing so hard, we were not seeing the sign. And Could we maybe point us in a direction where we could continue our hateful behavior? Because, you know, we're all about killing minorities, but we don't want to disturb anyone while doing it. It's not the Nazi way. It's just... I don't know, it was so strange to me to see it, man, which is even stranger, by the way. I had to integrate myself really well when I moved here into the dating life. Anyone else had to do this? Make some noise? Guys, if you're here with women, just don't make a noise. Make this easy for you. You know, because I had a lot of like dating, like I tried Tinder and drugs simultaneously because one kind of requires the other. And it's a lot, like I love Tinder a lot. Like I presume all of you have been on Tinder because it's good. You see a picture, you can like, dislike, super like. Doesn't it feel like something's missing? Why can't you not super dislike? No, really, it opens up a new spectrum of possibilities. Imagine one day you're home, your phone vibrates, you look, like congratulations, you have a new match. You and this person find each other absolutely fucking hideous. Meet up for a drink, criticize other people. This might be the beginning of a beautiful friendship. Come on, guys, like, you know. You know, it's fun. Like, to me, I found it that it was a little easier in Hungary, the whole dating thing, because chloroform is legal. But it makes it easier, okay? It makes it a lot easier. But still, because, you know, especially as a man, there are so many things to fuck up in the dating life. Like, you guys ever know this one when you ask a woman's age? You just go like, hey, so how old are you? And women, 99.9% of the fucking time say, well, how old do you think I am? To which men say, 100% of the time, well... But while we're doing the well, on the inside we're going, we're not a fucking mentalist, okay? Just drop the fucking number. Also, we don't need a number. You want the conversation to end? Say legal. Legal. That's all. How old are you? Legal. Thank you. What are your hobbies? That's all we care about. It's like, you feel uncomfortable talking about it, I feel uncomfortable talking about it. Say legal, conversation's done. 18 and above. It's all that matters. And also, keep in mind, if you're making a man guess your age, men have already figured out that it's not cool to say something too much. So everything we actually guess is what we actually think minus 7. You know? Which also gets you in trouble when women go like, well, how old do you think I am? And we're like, well, that minus 7 is 11. No, that's the, I'm sorry. I know, you wish you were 11. No, you probably don't. Why would I say that? That's ridiculous. I wish you were 11. No, that's worse. I'm sorry. I don't wish you were 11. I really don't. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean. Please, let's change the topic. There's a lot of things, you know, even if it's going well. Like, I had this one lady tell me, like, hey, let's go back to my place. I'll make you a steak, the Gordon Ramsay style. So, you know, that sounds good, the Gordon Ramsay style. That's awesome. So we go to her place. I get undressed. She starts cooking a steak and just fucking screams at me the entire time. I was just like, so, are we getting this? I was like, you like that, you fucking pillock? And like, I don't know, man. I have an erection, but I don't want to fuck. This is the most confused I've ever felt in my life. Please tell me what's going on. Sometimes women flirt back at you and you don't even know where to go with it. Like, it's like, so, what turns you on? And she, without missing a beat, goes, electricity, I have a peacemaker. You're like, what the fuck do I do with that? It's like, so, don't forget your charger. Or like, what? How it's very hard to stay sexual in this conversation, you know? Incredibly hard. There's also so many things to fuck up, man. Like, when I moved here, I was living on the outside of Vienna, a lot of fields, lots of nature, and I matched with a girl, so I thought, she has a dog, I have a dog. Let's go in one of those dog walking dates, like in romantic comedies, you know that? Sounds great, right? Yeah, don't fucking do that. See, I have a fighting dog that's about this big. She had a Chihuahua. Now, ignoring the fact that in the best case scenario, her dog would have only been a condom for my dog. It's still not a good situation to be dating in, because, you know, I thought like in the movies, we're gonna walk, the dogs are gonna be running around us, having fun while we're having this chat. But no, because both dogs are fucking assholes when they don't know each other. So we're walking like this, we're like, so what did you say you study? Frankie! What do you ever like? Do you have anything you like? What music do you Frankie, come here, come here, come here. Yeah, I'm sorry, what was that? You study what? You study like Frankie, for fuck's sake. Like there was nothing going on, no chemistry, no nothing. The one time I could actually drop something sexy and pick up liney was when my dog tried to fuck her dog. And I just went, hey? It's so strange, man. Like I had a friend of mine whose girlfriend was into this Facebook challenge called 100 Happy Days. Does anyone know the 100 Happy Days Facebook challenge? Make some noise if you do. Nobody does. Okay, so good. That's good. Here's the 100 Happy Days challenge on Facebook. Here's what you do. For 100 days, every day, you just say day number whatever and something that made you happy this day. Why? First of all, being happy for 100 days straight is not a challenge, it's a mental condition. At day 87, you should be going like, I can't stop smiling, somebody shoot me, this is sick, this is not... And the other thing is, I notice women do it predominantly. Let's be honest, ladies, that's 100 days. What's that, 3 months? 3 periods? 4, if you're unlucky? What, come on, who are you kidding, man? Like, that's never gonna work. And also, you can see, like, the ladies getting less creative as time progresses, because day number 1 to 5 is always like, had a romantic dinner in the sunset with the boyfriend on the back of an elephant on the beach with Coldplay playing in the sunset and rose petals being dropped by a helicopter. And day 89 is like, found cheap orange juice. It's very different, yeah, like... At one point, like, I thought, like, this has gone bad for me so many times that I genuinely think I'm looking for dates at all the wrong places. Like, I tried everything. I tried German courses, churches, abortion clinics. Nothing. Nothing, man. I know that last one is a little strong because you're waiting outside like, hey, since you're probably single anyway, I thought maybe... That's as low as we go, though. But even like with that or with the church, I never understand why you like don't pick up in church. Cause see, I'm Jewish, I know the synagogue part of it. In a synagogue, it can be the holiest of holy celebrations. The rabbi's phone is gonna ring and he's gonna answer it. Mid-ceremony, that's the Jewish way. They're like, everybody pay attention to the holiest. Yeah, Jaime, what's up, Jaime? Like, yes, we buy shares, yes, no problem. And I visited like Catholic churches and it's just 600 Christians sitting facing one direction in awkward silence, looking at the one guy dressed weirdly and doing the that shit. I don't get the whole thing, but I don't understand. Why don't you talk more? A little bit more. Why don't you do pickup? It's the easiest fucking thing. You just like sneak up behind a lady you like, and you just go, boo! And they're gonna go, Jesus! And I love him as well. Hi, my name's Tamas. It's such an easy breaker, I don't get it why not more people do it. And to close it off, I have a question to all the couples. Guys, do you ever have, how many of you guys who are here on a date, in a relationship, if either of those things are true to you, please make some noise. Oh, motherfuckers, come on. How many of you are here with your girlfriend or with your side chick or alone but are in a relationship anyways? So just non-single men make some noise. See, that's a lot more than one guy doing See? It's very different now. All to you guys. Oh, you didn't make noise and you're fucking arming her all over. You're very selfish. You just met her? That's very good. You're already like, it's mine. I pissed on its leg. I marked my territory. I'm sorry. But, okay, so to you guys, do you know this when you ask your lady a question I'm sorry, your lady asks you a question, and it's a simple question, and you give a simple answer, and then you have to explain it for no fucking reason. I see some awkward looks in the front right there. They're just like... But you know, like, I'll give you an example. Here's like, this is something from my personal life. Like, lady goes, hey, have you ever been to Mexico? And I said, no. And she said, never? What kind of answer are you expecting exactly? Like, have you ever been to Mexico? No. Never? Actually. I've never been to Mexico except for the one time when I have been to Mexico. I totally forgot. I thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of my show. Did you have a good time? Come on, thank you so much. This is amazing that you guys came out in such amazing numbers. I couldn't be more grateful. Please keep it going for your wonderful host and opening act, Melinda and Paul. They're wonderful. They're good friends of mine. To plug my stuff, check out Dr. Tinderlove on YouTube. It's my YouTube show. It's called Dr. Tinderlove, explaining men to women through women's Tinder profiles. It's a lot of fun. Do check that out. Or if this was the last time we ever saw this show from me live. That's why all the camera stuff is here. It's going to be online soon. Keep it up for Marco and the other guys, please. I keep doing that. They did an amazing job, and I left flyers everywhere, so if you're interested in my next solo show that's already ready and been touring and all that stuff, and the one after that, do be a dear and follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, and TikTok, yeah. You know me off of TikTok. Don't follow me on TikTok. It's like fucking TikTok. Follow me on Instagram, however. And thank you so much. This has meant the world to me, and I'll see you guys on upcoming shows soon. Thanks again so much. Give it up for yourselves. This means the world. Cheers to you guys. This has been me. Thank you very much.